morning, everybody. Today is Friday, November the 14th of 2025, and we are fastly moving into the holidays and doing all of the things. And I've already cleaned one bathroom for Thanksgiving and like one major area task per weekend, and then it'll be per day. So today I am with the fabulous people of Atlanta Sex Therapy. And we're going to go ahead and start talking about family and family around holidays and family of origin issues that come up around holidays and helping couples navigate that, navigating the kids being off. And I just love all of the holiday movies that allude to all of the family dynamics that happen around the holidays and coming home for Thanksgiving and Christmas and what that can look like. And so let's do a top 3 tips. Okay, and so Jessica Renard, you're the biggest person on my screen. So I'm going to give it to you first as I figure out how to get everybody equal. There we go. Sure. All right, so what's 3 tips you would give a couple rolling into the holiday season with family of origin issues, crazy expectations, schedules, the whole 9 yards? As I say that, I like hear the, I can't even tell y'all, it's like a classic Christmas music, like I just hear in my head, like we're here and everything has to be done and everything is crazy and all the things. So what's top 3 things you would tell a couple?
Yeah.
Let's say tell a couple who hasn't been having sex, because that's a lot of our couples.
Okay. That changes what I was going to say. I'm going to skip that for right now because I can't transition.
Okay.
So one of the things that I was going to say is when you are with your family, so I am going to my family's house with a person that I have selected to be my partner.
Yeah.
I have to be the front line to my family.
Yeah.
So if there's any type of criticism about my partner's job, about how we live our life, any of that, I need to be the person. This is who I picked. You have to respect my choices. Go through me, not them. They're in enemy territory. So like we have got to be the front line for our family and not like, oh, well, you just talk to my mom or you can handle my uncle. No. I set the boundaries for my family to dictate what my family looks like for my people. So I think that's a big one. There was a really great video that was talking about battling of like, are you going to arm them and just stand behind them and like hope it works out okay? Or are you going to be like on the front lines with them and battle with them? And it's like, that's a big thing. Also, check about your expectations. What would make this trip satisfying for you, this visit? Do you want specific time with your nieces and nephews? Do you really want to have a deep conversation with your Aunt Sally? Do you really want to spend time or play a game with your parents? What makes this satisfying? What makes this is what I had in my head as like the perfect gathering. If it doesn't happen, I'm going to be disappointed, so that the other person is aware of what is going on in your head, because nobody's a mind reader. We have to have those expectations said explicitly. I really want this, or I really don't want to stay later than 9:45. So like we gotta go. Like you gotta be planned, and we gotta go. And it's like, okay, absolutely. Like we got a game plan. What does this look like? Potentially exit strategies of like, hey, no longer feeling comfortable. We gotta go. And be like, okay. And then being aware that you can still have intimacy if you are visiting somebody else's house. That may look different.
Yeah.
But that is not like off the table. So like maybe like loud screaming, sex with props is off the table. But like holding hands, cuddling, laying in bed together next to each other, well, all of that is possible. You could even probably still have sex depending on where your room is located. in the situation, or if you're getting a hotel, because if that's really important to you, maybe you need to be in a place where you can't be overheard by the rest of your family. And so that's an important time to have that time away. So figuring out what that looks like and whether or not that's important to you is a big part of it. I feel like I went into a lot. So
no, you that what you said was perfect. And because I got excited about the second point, I wanted to talk about what the main point of what was your first point? Because I wanted more detail on that. I want you to give a little bit more instruction.
So, like for example, if my partner, if we have a child and everybody wants to hold the child, but my partner feels uncomfortable with germs or doesn't feel right, if the baby is feeling stressed and I want to make sure that the baby is protected, maybe we will feel comfortable with who the baby feels comfortable with. And if this is my family, that means I'm telling them, no, that is not okay for you to just come and grab the baby.
Right.
That is not okay for you to hug the child if they say they don't want it. Like, this is my boundary. So I don't care if you're my great uncle Roy 7 times removed, whatever. If you don't want to hug if my child does not feel comfortable, you're not hugging my child. This is where, and because it's my family, I need to be the person to set that boundary.
That's true.
This is making my partner the enemy of like, no, she doesn't feel comfortable or they don't feel comfortable. And now they're battling my family without me by their side.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that whole united front, like
Yes.
I talk about having a united front with the kids,
Yes.
having a united front with everybody outside of the family or the
Correct.
in-laws as well. Okay. Great. Okay. Amanda, what would be your 3 tips? That was good. Thanks, Jessica.
Yeah, thank you, Jessica. Jessica touched on some of these a little bit, but I'll probably say some different stuff. So 3 tips I have is 1, put each other on the schedule. So especially if you have kids, but not exclusively to having kids, like these are 2 of the most overscheduled months. Like this 6-week period from mid-November to New Year's, I remember there have been years where we have not had a single free night. It's like activity. Put yourselves on the schedule. Do it now before all the Christmas party invitations drop in a week or 2. Yes. Do it now. Put each other on the schedule. Make sure that you're having that one-on-one time as a couple. 2, talk about sex before the visit to your family or friends. I am working with a couple where one of them is totally fine having sex in their childhood bedroom with their parents down the hall. And for the other, that is like kryptonite. Like it's never going to be sexy for them.
Yeah.
Think about it beforehand. Because there's nothing worse than getting your feelings hurt and feeling rejected and then having to walk downstairs and have breakfast with the rest of the family and put on a happy face. So like, make sure that you're talking about it before the visit. And what Jessica was just talking about, I think is really, really powerful. Like have each other's backs. It can be really, really sexy, really empowering to know like, hey, my partner, like they prioritize me. And so, if it means having your partner's back and making sure that food that they're not allergic to is there. Yeah. I have a lot of food allergies. Traveling to family is sometimes a monstrous undertaking.
Yeah.
Think about the little things, have each other's back. The little things, they all add up to big things. So like try to be attuned to one another's needs.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great. All right. You kind of took mine and because mine, and I actually hadn't come up with a whole 3, but mine was having couples schedule to put each other on each other's list. And so I know I've had a couple of couples and we talked about everything they did and sex never got in there. Okay. Could we have done that before we left town? Like, did we have to leave at 5 o'clock in the morning? Could we have like had sex at 5 a.m. and had sex at 5 a.m. and left at 6? And so being very conscious about putting each other on the schedule, like putting us on the schedule. And where does that fit in? And like taking advantage, because if you start to think beforehand, where could we sneak away? Where could we get it in? Then you'll see the opportunities. Like, oh, let's go to the store. and I think you can get creative. And so if having sex in the in-laws' house is not going to work, where is it going to work?
Yeah.
Do we want to split up the drive where we're doing 3 hours tonight, taking a hotel for half, over the night, and then the next morning? Like, how does that work for us? And so I think if you get intentional about, we're going to take care of ourselves over the holidays, like we're going to put us first.
Yeah.
Then I think you're going to come through the holidays with reindeer bells on. Okay. The second thing I want to say is be brave to ask for what you want and need. Be brave to have the conversation. And so I have talked to many of people, and it's just like, but did you say that out loud to your partner? Did you make that request to your partner? Like, what actually came out your mouth? What does your partner know you want? Well, I was hoping that they would read your mind, because that doesn't really, And not only do they not have the ability to read your mind, although I'm reading a book that's saying like you can practice it and get it, but nevertheless, people do not have that ability. During the holidays, there's a lot going on. There's a lot coming at you. So we got to get ready to take off from work, which means we're doing extra things and trying to get things done. And we're trying to get things set up. And then a lot of people with the cold weather are worried about the extra things that need to be done with the house or the scheduling or the shopping or all of these things, or we're looking at the budget and all of these things. And so number 2 is be bold, be brave, ask for what you want. And then number 3 is going to be give grace. Give grace. And I think deeper with give grace is remember your partner loves you, period. Like, remember your partner loves you. Remember that they chose you and you chose them. Because when you can say that, okay, I know my partner loves me. I know every time my partner comes back home, they're choosing me and they're choosing to be in this relationship. Then when you get bold, it's a little bit easier for you. When you get brave, it's a little bit easier for you. When you start off the conversation with, I know you love me. So let's talk about why this happened or why this didn't happen. Like, help me connect the dots so I can understand and we can get to resolution. Yeah. And so I'm going to say, and I think I say it always to my couples, be curious, not furious. And so if I can put in a number 4, I'm going to ask that you guys be curious and not furious. Like, what happened? Just, and because to them, it will be logical. Mm-hmm. And to you, it will look like we just, put bananas in a radiator. You will not understand. And so therefore, having the conversation with curiosity and goodwill. So that's that. Okay. All right. What's next? What else is coming up for you guys to protect and help couples through? I want to protect couples through the holiday season. If I give you these tools, hopefully you'll make it smoothly. Mm-hmm. And in my family, we have birthdays at the beginning of January. So it's like from now until like January, 21st, when MLK birthday is, like it is full on event after event after event after event. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, what's coming up for me is like figure out how to downshift. Figure out how to reduce demands. Right now, it's a more, it's a bigger, it's the next thing, it's the next thing, it doesn't have to be a next thing. We can cancel things. Just because this is the way it's looked like for all of these times doesn't, like, what if we just had just us at the house? What if you didn't go anywhere? What if you didn't make a big meal? What if you didn't clean the whole house? How do we downshift the demands so that we can prioritize our mental health to where we're not exhausted and burnt out before the new year even starts? So it's figuring out when things are really stressful. It's not, and we need to have sex at some point during this weekend. It's, hey, what if we skip this and then we can have some alone time and be like, oh, that feels better versus like, and this, and this, and this.
Yeah, that's really good. And I want to like piggyback on that of what I want, I guess. When I want my clients to schedule sex, I never want you guys to like schedule it and both show up in the bedroom naked at the bed at like 6:00 on the dot. What I'm really wanting is that time to be set aside for you guys to spend together, feel good together, and see what happens, just to make the space for it. And so I think to add on to what Jessica said is, I don't even know what I'm saying. I lost my thought in the middle of thought, because I just want you to make kind of that downshifting. So just be together. Let's see what can happen. Okay, go on.
It's like the line, I think it was last week on live, might have been 2 weeks ago, that either you or Jessica said this line, like turning sex from a chore to a treat. Like, this is a time of year for treats. So go for it. But also don't let sex be the chore on your list. And you're totally right, Natalie. Like, so many couples here schedule sex and they think they need to be laying in bed and ready, on the dot. And it's not about that at all. It's about creating conditions that are right for intimacy to occur. And intimacy can be watching a movie and eating popcorn. And resting your head on each other's shoulders. And so make these moments a treat. It doesn't, it's not about the destination, it's about the trip. And setting that time aside, because it's so easy to forget right now. It just really is.
It is so easy to forget right now. And I think what you have to do as an individual is probably a 3-step process of kind of get still with yourself, just kind of have a moment with yourself, remind yourself of your true priorities, and then intentionally choose. Intentionally choose. And I think a part of that goes with giving yourself permission not to be in the hustle and bustle. And in the financial circles around Christmas, I'm sure they're saying, I can hear them now, give yourself permission not to spend $20,000 on Christmas gifts. Give yourself permission not to keep up with the Joneses or buy the latest everything. Be simple, be still, be quiet, have those moments. So I'm going to ask that if there are more things to add to the list of kind of get still with yourself and really pick out those important priorities, the deeper priorities. Who do you want to be and how do you want to show up in the world every day, but particularly this season, this year? Because for a lot of us, and I'm so glad my federal employees are back to work. So thank you to the powers that be for doing that. Because that was starting to get really scary. But for a lot of us, the world is feeling scary in a way that it hasn't felt before. And so sit down and pause and maybe do some journaling around who do you want to be as you go through the holiday season, and what's really going to be important for you as you go through the holiday season. And then how can you self-express? How can we express that? What does that look like? Because that might look like us staying home as opposed to traveling with the in-laws. Or it may look like us traveling with the in-laws when we were thinking about staying home. And so choosing those things, I think is going to be really important. And I honestly think it's just really important in life right now because so many things are happening and going on. And it feels like the world is changing in so many ways. And so yeah, get quiet. Get quiet. Okay, go ahead, Amanda. I think you wanted to say something.
Oh, the reminder to get quiet. It reminds me of I was reading this paper about how sexuality has changed through the ages, and the time of day people have sex, and the time of year we have more sex, and how people used to go to bed at 7 p.m. would wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and have this second night. That was when intimacy often occurred. Kids were asleep, adults were awake, and they'll wait for an hour or two, and then you sleep for the rest of the night. And during the winter time, our bodies are built for nesting. We really are. I have this urge in November and December every year to gather in, close the windows, get my crocheting and nest. And I think that's such a great reminder, Natalie, to slow down and to go with your flow. because the world is a scary place sometimes, and the warmth of home and the warmth of our partners can be so grounding and satisfying when we have it. So lean in, like your reminder to lean into that just really touches me.
I really like the word you just used, your flow, because there are going to be times in life where your flow is different from the family's flow. And so I love that. Like find your flow. And so get quiet and find your flow. Okay. All right, Jessica Renard, take us home. What are your last comments?
Oh, I'm gonna go. Like you're just gonna be like, why? Where did you go with this? Because this is where my mind went. So like when we're thinking about like a lot of the holidays are super capitalistic of what you're buying and what that looks like. I saw a video on Swedish death cleaning, which is basically going through your house and getting rid of the things so that other people don't. So what about taking this time and finding the things in your house that you want people to have? But maybe you could go ahead and give them. Maybe you could go ahead and that's their Christmas present. That's their holiday present. And it helps declutter the things that are around your house. And I want to say the method with Swedish death cleaning is, do I use it? Would someone else be happier with it?
Okay. Yeah.
And so being able to, we don't have to spend all of this money, especially when a lot of us don't have money. Of what is around my house that I can make someone happier with that, or maybe they would really like that, or think about like trading circles or swaps, or like doing potlucks instead of hosting, to where we're spreading it out to where it's not one person responsible for all of these things. So just thinking about how can we come together as a community, because ideally that's what we should be doing in this. Anyway, that one person shouldn't be responsible for putting on this big production, that it should be a community shared event.
Oh, there's so many things I want to say about that, but I'm not. I'm going to say something instead. I'm going to say to those people where the holiday season is really hard for them, I'm going to again ask you to be brave and ask you for what you need. I'm going to again ask you to get still and figure out who you want to be and how you want to show up. And thirdly, I'm going to ask you to get support, however that may look for you. And give yourself permission to get support. Like, it's okay that you need support. If this is the first holiday season that you're going through, whatever, without whoever, or whatever in this different circumstance or whatever, really sit down and think about, okay, what's the best way for me to do this? Maybe I need to go skiing at Vail instead of being home for the holidays, you know? Maybe I need to go to Puerto Rico and sit on the beach. Like, be intentional about how do you take care of yourself through the holiday season, okay? And this is what I want all of my people to know. If you're dealing with grief in particularly, and this is like the first holiday season without that person, without that job, without whatever, I need you to be aware that it may hit you hard. Okay. So maybe have a contingency plan. Like, if you're great, yay. If you're not great, this is a contingency plan, how we're going to back up and take care of ourselves.
Yeah. My
people who've been through one anniversary of the holiday season without whatever, their job, their partner, their whatever they lost. This season will probably be a little bit easier than it was the last, but I don't think you're free and clear yet. So I also would like for you to have a plan A and a plan B and a way to take care of yourself. And I want you to give yourself permission to do what you need to do to take care of yourself. I don't want you running yourself ragged or going into the new year not doing well. And then, as much as we, the me's of the world that love the holiday season and we love everything about it, just remember everybody isn't as happy as we are during this time of season. And so, just, I don't know. And so just be conscious. If you could, be conscious, be aware. Pay attention to your community. Pay attention to your community. And
And Natalie, I'm going to push it even further. There are couples where one has an ideal holiday outlook and one, it's really hard. So, not just, the community out, but also your community within your own home or your own system. That I think sometimes it's easy to forget. Like we can be so excited, like the holidays are here, and over there are partners like, yeah, and my dad's an alcoholic, and my sister's right. So it's I think we really have to be careful, even just in our own relationships, to make sure we're balancing that out. Because sometimes we don't remember, especially early in relationships, or there can be some baggage there.
So a lot of conversations, a lot of agreement. I want to say don't yuck my yum, but I can't think of a better version for Christmas. But kind of just honoring that my partner may be different around the holidays. And I don't need to judge them for that. I don't need to be like, bah humbug and you're terrible and get away from me for Christmas.
Don't put my nice on the naughty list.
I love it.
There's something, I don't know.
Okay, I love it. Okay, Jessica, what do you want to say?
Well, and it's just like understanding that is why that there's a common belief that we need to date somebody or be around somebody for a year, because the changing of the seasons, the different holidays, that can bring up different sides of people. And so understanding that, like, hey, I don't drink except for apparently on New Year's and Christmas, I get blackout drunk. And it's like, oh, okay, I need to know that. That is something that I need to be aware of. Like, what does this look like?
Oh, that's such a good thing. Okay. All right. Any last thoughts in our last 2 minutes?
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody. So y'all have a good time. And if you're one of those people that need extra support, we're here. So call us. We're here. And so we take various days off during the holidays so we can find somebody who can support you when you and how you need the support. So, okay. All right. Happy Friday, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye.